Hello, welcome to What the Hey. Thank you for joining me to learn the answer to a question that I received. And when I go to my notebook, I see the question is written as, what the hey are trains? And this question comes from Mr. 2007, so hello to you and thank you very much for the question. So in terms of a very basic answer to this question, trains are multiple cars, rail cars, carriages, and coaches that are connected together to help transport things like food, people, and other materials. So from the get-go, I feel like this question is very helpful because whenever people tend to say train, what they think of is the thing at the front of the train, but really that's like the engine slash locomotive. Like that's not the train is the whole thing. Because at least from my experience, what most people tend to think of when they hear the word train is like the engine or the locomotive that usually helps to power the train from the front or the back. And to help answer this question further, I kind of wanted to list and give some examples of like your typical rail cars, because those are usually what make up the train. Like if you just had the engine, that would be the engine. But when you have the coaches and stuff, that's what makes the train. So here we go. Now I will list examples of the types of rail cars you will usually see in a train, because sometimes it's not just one type of train, like there's other stuff connected to it. So sometimes you will see coaches, sometimes you will see passenger cars, baggage cars, combine cars, diner cars, lounge cars, sleeper cars, dome cars, observation cars, crew cars, box cars, auto track cars, flat cars, bulkhead cars, center beam cars, well cars. There are coil cars, there are gondola cars, there are hopper cars, side dump cars, schnabel cars, tank cars, all kinds of cars, but not from the Cars movie. That's different. I did want to list and give examples of some pretty notable trains, like you got the BHP Australian train, which is like the longest train, I believe. Like it's apparently like 4.57 miles of just train, which is a lot of train. And then in terms of the fastest train out there, you got like the Shanghai Trans Rapid train, which can apparently go like 267.8 miles per hour, which is very fast. Here is another list of trains that are pretty famous, like you may or may not have heard of them, like the Trans-Siberian Express, which is mainly known for like its impressive rail network, like it goes a lot of places. There's the Orient Express, which was kind of known for like carrying really rich and famous passengers, but you also may know it because of the book called like Murder on the Orient Express. Very epic. Another train that you've probably heard of is the Eurostar, which travels between like London and Paris. So if you ever want to go between countries by train, that's a good example. Another really famous one is the Flying Scotsman, which is known for going pretty dang fast. So if you like to go really fast, railways are a pretty good way to do so. In terms of my general opinion, I think trains are pretty cool. In terms of my favorite trains, I really like the Polar Express because I love Christmas. I also really like the Hogwarts Express, which I've technically ridden in like Florida with like Harry Potter World, so both very nice. I guess another thing that I like about trains are just the general like model sets people do, where it's like a big landscape or something and you got like a little model, you know, locomotive going around a track, and then there's like general scenes of like people on picnic things and stuff. So those are cool and they're very detailed, so it's like, oh, that's impressive. Thinking back to it, another train I've been on is the Eurostar. I went when it was like the summer of 2018 when I was over in Europe like traveling and stuff. So it was really fun. I was kind of disappointed because you go in like the water for a little bit or something, like you go underground, but you can't really see that when you're in the train. But still very cool, very fast. But yes, in general, I feel like this question was very helpful, at least for me, because when I first started to react to like Thomas the Tank Engine stuff, when people first started to ask me to do that, I would call the characters like all trains, because I didn't know that technically they're not all trains, they're like locomotives and engines. Like a train is the whole thing. It's not the engine at the front, the middle, or the back. It's the whole thing. Because you know, you have some people who know the difference and they're like, you're incorrect, but it's like, I didn't know, I'm sorry. So you know now, I know now what the answer is, and if you want to do some personal research, I always put the links to the information that I got in the description. So if you want to do research for yourself and learn more, I always include the stuff that I like found, including like videos and stuff. So if you want to learn more and do some edumacation on your own time, feel free. But I believe that is the answer to the question, so thank you very much for watching. Bye.